morning, Story Trading VIPs. It's Tuesday, March 14th. Today we just had CPI. Tomorrow PPI. Tomorrow after the close we have XXII CEO. All right, look at this. Look at this watch list here, and tell me what the most interesting thing is. Right, you're seeing all this green. You're seeing all the regional banks up 50%. JP Morgan popping back. The market's up 1%. CPI was in line, but you know what the most interesting thing is here? The most important thing is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, unbelievable. Look at this. It's the only one that's had sustained one that's well above its prices of last week. And in my view, look, I'm not a Bitcoin guy. I don't trade crypto, but I got to say, first of all, it's breaking out of technical levels. If this is representative of an actual Bitcoin chart, there's a BITO ETF tracking Bitcoin. But in my view, the price action this week validates the long-term thesis of Bitcoin. You had a problem in the credit system, problem in the bank system, and where did the money go in a sustained type of way? It went to Bitcoin. Gold went up and down. Bonds went up and down. Bitcoin just went up and up. And an environment that's regulatorily challenging because some of the banks they deal with are having some trouble. And yet still Bitcoin up and up. I think this is a huge, huge validation. And for the first time, I'm thinking, I don't know about chasing it, but I'm thinking at some point, maybe allocating some for my long-term position. This is a huge win for crypto folks. Congratulations. That's amazing. So that's the biggest takeaway for me. Okay, CPI in line though. So you see NASDAQ and SPY stabilizing here. Maybe we make a move towards the 20 DMA, but the bigger point is the Fed meeting next week. Of course, we have PPI tomorrow, but the Fed next week, I think the most they can do is 0.25. And I think the TLT and gold is kind of telling you that that's the expectation. The expectation is probably 0.25 rather than an immediate pause. So we talked about the three plays yesterday morning. Gold, Bitcoin, and TLT. It turned out that Bitcoin was the real winner out of all of them. The one I didn't play, except for a little bit of intraday trading on Mara, and that's another way to play it. Mara, look at this, breaking above key levels, maybe making a move towards 9. Just unbelievably good news, good price action for Bitcoin and cryptos. Again, congrats to all those folks. Now, I want to point a couple things out here. Credit Suisse had some bad news this morning, and I'm thinking of maybe buying puts in this one. You can see it's the weakest out of all the banks. It's having the weakest rebound out of all the banks. This morning, they filed material weakness in financial reporting. That doesn't sound good. Okay, rarely do these credit events, in my history and my experience, you're not just going to have this one episode of a blow up with over a weekend and everything solved. You're going to have another bank somewhere along the line under distress, and Credit Suisse might be a really good option for that. But everything else really rebounding strong. Regional banks, man, we really grabbed these at the bottom yesterday, but only intraday traded them. 2023 was when we got into that one, if you followed me. And then Wall got in at 15. Made some good money yesterday, but hey, look at that. Nice rebound in regional banks. JP Morgan, the only one I held overnight with call options. So that looks like it's going to pay off nicely here in the morning. Charles Schwab, huge rebound. Obviously a large institution. Hopefully a quality institution, up 15%. So things are looking good this morning as far as the banking sector goes, and QQQ SPY as well. I don't think we're out of the woods though. I do think there's a good chance of another sort of crisis somewhere along the line. I don't know how quickly that'll come. It might come soon. It might come Credit Suisse, or it might come a few months from now. So be careful. All right. All right. Let's get to individual stocks here. Not much going on news-wise. We have Air coming out with an order, which is starting to, I sold this between 30 and 31 on that scare from Tesla. And I'm actually considering maybe I'm going to establish a small position, get back in, because now you have two news reports in a row. First, you had that strong defense by the company. Now you have a follow-on order of 6.7 million with very, very bullish commentary. Some commentary we haven't seen before regarding silicon carbide for electrification of infrastructure, electric trains, and other high-power DC to AC inverter applications. I haven't seen that before, I don't think. And also that they're increasing their inventory and adding an additional manufacturing capacity. Some very interesting things here, and I may be forced to buy back right around where I sold. It's right at the 50 DMA, so good news out of Air this morning. Just want to point out, and someone in our community was Jason Assad who is really into PRVB. This one like exploded 270% yesterday in a buyout by Sanofi. Man, I held this for years, but then I didn't hold on to it the last 6 months or so. My mistake. Sometimes you have to have a little more patience, but Sanofi buys them out. And I just wanted to point out, Jason Assad is also very bullish on GANX, and he believes GANX will also be bought out. And he was personally moving some money out of PRVB winnings and into GANX yesterday. They have some sort of event right now. I guess that's right now, this Oppenheimer conference ongoing this morning. That started at 8:40 a.m. So perhaps that's something you can go research on your own. Take a look at that presentation, and you can make your own determination if you want to take a risk on GANX. I'm just putting FREY here. It did up 4%, but I'm wondering, this kind of coincided, this price action this morning coincided with news coming out from Volkswagen that they're investing 193 billion in EV. Has to do with battery technology, they said, if you look at this news report. So I'm wondering if that, I don't know if FREY has a direct relationship with Volkswagen, or it's just up on sentiment of this investment into batteries and EV. But perhaps that's why FREY is up. I want to note that GEO is reaffirming guidance. I'm not sure why they felt the need to do that. Well, I know what it was. I'm sorry. It was a PowerPoint presentation they presented to investors yesterday. They did a FD disclosure this morning on that, and in it, they just reaffirmed the guidance that they gave a couple weeks ago of 80 cents to 102. So not much new there, except I did put the link to that PowerPoint presentation in the room if you want to go take a look at that. LLAP, man, we are at a key level over here on LLAP, right at the, where is it? Right? Oh my gosh, it's below the 50 DMA. I got to tell you, I thought this was going to bounce off the 20. Honestly, I was wrong on this the whole way, right? I thought this was going to gap above the 200 DMA and run. It went all the way to 20 DMA. I thought we'll hold the 20 DMA. We didn't. Now we're at the 50. I thought we'd hold the 50. We didn't. I'm averaging down the whole way. I mean, I'm doing the research, and the research tells me this contract with Rivada, 2.4 billion, is real. And the only possible thing that could cause this deal not to go through is regulatory approval. And I've done the research on that, and I really think it's going to happen. I haven't seen any credible argument why the regulatory approval shouldn't happen, and that might happen as early as next week, or it might happen in 3 months, late June. So we don't know the exact date on that, but we're waiting for regulatory approval from the UN. And this is like a binary bet almost at this point. If once the market catches on, or once basically they get that regulatory approval, this thing is an easy multi-bagger in my opinion, and I'm not going to be dissuaded. I'm still buying. I bought yesterday, bouncing off the 50 DMA. A little bit surprised here below the 50 DMA. We'll have to see if it does a complete gap fill. Oh my gosh, complete gap fill would be what? 171 was the close over here. 171. Really, really surprised at this action, but I'm not giving up on that. GEO had a little bit of news this morning. You can take a look at the research out on pain management with adapted machine learning. Some data out on that. Price action has not been good. I'm going to have a follow-up call with management to try to dig deeper what may be going on. And we're hopefully going to bring them to a story trading event next Tuesday or Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. And that's about it. Nothing else in the news flow this morning. Let's just take a look if we missed anything last 15 minutes or so. Oh, RUM did have some news last night. Let's see how RUM is doing. RUM has been on a news tear though. And this has been hard to trade. So I've decided to just keep some in my IRA rather than trade it. You can take a look at the news on Rumble becomes exclusive streaming home of Power Slap seasons 2 and 3. But this market, I don't know. These little news events, I don't think are going to move a stock like Rumble in a predictable fashion. So I'm just going to hold on to that since I believe in it long term. All right, let's see. Wow, that was a quick show, only 9 minutes. Let's see if there's anything else to look at here. Nothing in the news. So really, there's nothing in the news. It's really all about the bank. So let's just take one last look at our bank watch list and see, maybe let's look at some technical levels, see what's going on here. All right, let's take a look at gold up here, which I got into yesterday along with TLT. I was looking for 180, 182 plus. I still am, but I guess, it's a little danger here. If the Fed decides to go 50 bips next week, then this thing's not going to do so well. And already with 25 bips, it's pulling back a little bit. I think the reaction yesterday was people hoping the Fed would pause, but with CPI being in line, if CPI was cool today, then perhaps gold would have done better. TLT pullback, same kind of story. And your support here is at 104. So these turning out to be tough. And man, do I wish I had some Bitcoin. It's still pumping as we're talking on this show. So Bitcoin, I understand, is above 25,000, and that's a key level. Psychological and other reasons don't have a Bitcoin chart, but if this chart is representative, BITO, perhaps 1736 would be your next resistance level. And then Mara, we talked about earlier, look at it pumping. Mara right in between here. You got some resistance at 8. Then you have the top of this candle, 867 and 9 are your 3 resistance levels. Okay. Let's see. There's just a little bit of note here. Okay, let's just look up this because I know Tony has been really bullish on ASXC. We have a presentation on this in our archives at one of our happy hours. I think he made a presentation. They presented at Oppenheimer yesterday. The stock's kind of down the dumps below the 50 DMA. But if you're interested, you can head on over to the Oppenheimer Health Conference. You can see here the conference webcast is available. You can take a look at that and get greater insight into what Tony's thinking about. Let's look at JP Morgan because that's the one stock I do have from yesterday. And you can see a resistance level right here at 135, the top of that candle, 135.33. It's right here. So that's your first resistance level, 135.33. I actually might take some off the table. That might be right at the open. I may sell some of those calls right at the open. Then you have about 137 would be your next resistance level. And then up there at 139 after that. I'm not going to mess with the regional banks over and make your own judgment. But you don't know if they've diluted or not, if they have to go to the discount window or not. So I don't think these are easy judgments to make to say, hey, this thing's going to rebound to 88 or something like that. It's a little bit tricky. So I'm just going to stay away from those regional banks today. Wow, Bank of Hawaii was the one I was looking at because it was underperforming the other regional banks this morning. And that's made a big comeback. You know what? Let's look at KRE, the regional bank ETF. Yeah, all these charts are very similar. So all these charts are basically back to kind of where the stocks were early on Friday or midday Friday, something like that, just following KRE. All right, that's it. Wow, I can't believe there's so much going on. Only had 10 minutes to talk because I guess there's no news on any of the stocks we track. You know what? I just want to look at one more time before we go, since we have a little time. Well, first of all, we have some news here. SCHW launches a new suite of AI-based analytics with enhanced lineup of icon. It is a very, very low float stock. I'm not going to play it. Okay, it is I want to just look one more time at CS because that was the one I was thinking maybe. Yeah, look at this one. You got a resistance here at 260. I will think about this. I will think about buying puts in this at 260. We'll see upside potential maybe to 290 if the market really pumps today. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Not much going on. Bitcoin. That's all I got to say. They proved me wrong. All right. I think the thesis has been sold right here. And long term, I think I'm going to be looking for opportunities to get into Bitcoin at this point. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you today at 4 p.m. And then tomorrow, don't forget, again, XXII CEO interview. If you're not yet a member of the Story Trading community, you can hop on over to storytrading.com/app, grab a 1-week free preview, and join us for all of these shows and the CEO interview we got coming up tomorrow night. Everyone, have a great day.